Late afternoon greetings, one and all. Proud Filipina Charms Espina here, and this is PTV News Now. Taylor Swift is a megastar of the brightest magnitude. She may not be at the apex of her fame right now, but one thing is for certain. She's Hollywood's hottest performer and money in the bank that keeps hitting pay dirt, whether in the studio or on stage, or even in a skybox suite watching the Kansas City Chiefs play. In fact, America's biggest professional sports organization, the National Football League, is reaping the benefits whenever she goes up to watch a game live. Sales of her rumored boyfriend's jersey went up 400% on game day, and the NFL is licensing her music, so that's money. Most of all, the NFL has reported a surge in female viewership of 2 million new viewers in the 18 to 34 demographic since the Chicago Bears Kansas City Chiefs game on September 24th. Today, her Eras Tour concert movie opens worldwide with over $100 million in tickets pre-sold. Her Eras concert tour that ends in December next year is expected to rake in $1 billion. Add to that, 10 of her albums charted this year, and she's the first ever artist in nearly 60 years to have 4 tunes in the top 10 at the same time. Not even the king of pop did it back in the early 80s with Thriller. Then again, it's her Eras Tour that's catapulted her to the stratosphere of money and fame when all she wanted to do was confront her greatest weakness, live music. In the meantime, frontrunner and Speaker nominee Steve Scalise won the GOP nomination for Speaker of the House on Tuesday, beating rival and fellow election denier Representative Jim Jordan from Ohio. But then Scalise dropped out of the speakership after failing to convince enough fellow GOP congressmen to formally vote for him. VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson tells us how funding for military aid to Israel and Ukraine is on indefinite hold in this story.
Republican Representative Steve Scalise announced late Thursday he was dropping his bid to become Speaker of the House.
Our conference still has to come together and is not there. There are still some people that have their own agendas.
Despite winning a narrow majority of Republican votes Wednesday to become the Speaker nominee, Scalise could not secure a 217-vote majority, with all Democrats expected to vote against him.
You told a lot of people he's going to be at 150. He wasn't there.
Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was removed from power last week, lost only 8 Republican votes and has also not ruled himself out of being re-elected Speaker. Many Republican critics said Scalise is no different from McCarthy and would not negotiate the spending cuts they want.
This is a competition, and it's going to be even more difficult.
The other Republican candidate for Speaker, conservative Jim Jordan, had called for an end to the debate and threw his support to Scalise.
I hope we can unite around the Speaker and get doing the work of the American people and helping our dearest and closest friend, the state of Israel.
All 212 Democrats are expected to vote for their leader, Hakeem Jeffries, who called for an end to the paralysis in the House.
Israel needs its closest friend and ally in the world, the United States of America, to stand with Israel in this urgent time of need. The inability of House Republicans to get their act together, even when they themselves, by their own rules, have elected a Speaker nominee, speaks to the broader chaos and dysfunction and extremism.
One analyst described how a power-sharing agreement between Democrats and Republicans could work if the House remains deadlocked.
Minority Leader Jeffries kind of floated this idea very, very recently, saying, hey, if you guys are enough of you moderates, if you guys want to get back to the processing the business, particularly with the calamities that are happening around the world, we need to do the people's business, both here and abroad. And so if there are enough responsible moderates out there in the Republican Party, I can work with someone.
Republicans are also exploring the possibility of keeping the temporary Speaker, Republican Representative Patrick McHenry, in a more permanent role through November, when a temporary government funding bill is set to expire. Catherine Gibson, VOA News.
And that's a wrap for today. And here's wishing you all a mighty fine and eventful weekend ahead of you. Keep in mind to always stay informed, be kind, count your blessings, and catch the news right here. Sharms Espina here, and good evening.